In a surprising move, the UFC has just announced the release of 7 fighters, including a former title challenger and a once promising young prospect. This bold decision aligns with the UFC's ongoing strategy to maintain a competitive roster, cutting fighters who've struggled to meet the organization's high standards. This recent shakeup includes both seasoned veterans and fighters once hailed as rising stars, underscoring the unforgiving, performance-driven nature of the UFC, where past accolades mean little if recent results don't align with expectations. Among the released fighters, the most notable is a former title contender. Just a few years ago, this athlete was competing for UFC Gold, but faced a string of losses afterward. UFC President Dana White has been clear about the organization's commitment to elite performance. Despite the contender's past achievements, recent setbacks made their release inevitable, marking the end of a chapter that was once filled with potential. Fans and analysts are already debating this decision across social media, highlighting the challenges faced by experienced fighters once they hit a rough patch. Equally unexpected was the release of a young prospect who entered the UFC with a lot of hype. Known for their flashy fighting style and quick finishes, they initially captured fans' attention, but later struggled against tougher competition. This move illustrates the UFC's priority. Fighters must quickly adapt and consistently perform at the elite level. The decision has reignited discussions about how the UFC handles up-and-coming talent, with some arguing that the prospect may have been pushed too soon into the spotlight. The other fighters released include experienced veterans who have faced tough competition over the years but couldn't secure recent wins, as well as newer competitors who failed to make a significant impact. With a limited roster size, the UFC prioritizes fighters who can deliver standout performances, aiming to keep a fresh, competitive lineup. While leaving the UFC doesn't mean the end of these fighters' careers, many will likely find new opportunities in other organizations like Bellator, the PFL, or One Championship. The former title challenger might find a chance to rebuild in a less competitive setting, while the young prospect could benefit from more development time before considering a UFC return. These roster adjustments are part of the UFC's broader plan to bring in fresh talent, especially through programs like Dana White's Contender Series, which has produced several breakout stars in recent years. Cutting underperforming fighters not only frees up contract slots, but also sends a clear message to the remaining roster. Consistent, high-level performances are a must for securing a long-term position in the UFC. As the UFC moves forward, these cuts highlight the relentless demands of the sport, where even fan favorites are not exempt from the high-stakes environment. It's a lesson for aspiring fighters that talent must be backed by consistent success to survive in the world's top MMA organization.